is the prize of the valorous.
Alatok is a craft world of extreme discipline and purity. They are isolationist amongst the Eldar, as they remain adamant on never allowing their people to even taste the debauchery that led to the fall. This leaves its citizens with two options, as the Eldar heart is both dedicated and loyal, but also at times wild and free. Many Eldari wish to govern themselves, and so take the path of the outcast. In this way, the craft world has influence throughout the entire galaxy, as the many outcasts populate even the darkest corners of space, and still hold a burning hot loyalty for their craft world. Those who stick to the way of Alatok become paragons of discipline, mastering the way of the warrior, with many becoming so laser focused that they lose themselves and become exarchs. In times of war, the outcasts will be called to their home, and they will always answer. As a result, Alatok are an extremely formidable foe, boasting both expert soldiers and spy masters. Their fleet is mighty, and the craft world has staved off full-scale invasion from the Imperium.
Let none oppose the Eldar.
Iyanden is a craft world of ghost warriors. Theirs is a harsh tale of past glories and recent defeats. Iyanden sought to reforge the Eldar Empire, and so fought zealously with their allies Billten to purge the galaxy of chaos and make a new hope for the Eldari people. They fought devastating battles against the forces of evil that caused them great loss, yet they persevered. Eventually, High Fleet Kraken attacked and massacred 90% of the craft world's inhabitants. All hope was lost until the exiled prince made corsair Uriel brought his grand fleet into the fray and saved his home. Since then, Iyanden has slowly rebuilt, yet due to the nature of Eldar, it is a hard and arduous path. To survive, they have created a mass amount of wraith constructs, which they place the souls of their dead within. These ghost warriors are formidable and fearless, providing an incredible front line for the craft world. Iyanden is famous for their diplomacy, and are on relatively good terms with the Imperium of Man. Siamhan is an Eldari craft world of wild-riding, honorable warriors. Unlike many Eldar, they are reckless and headstrong, shaking off the common carefulness of most of their kind, and charging headlong into the foe atop their steeds. The steeds in question, of course, are jet bikes that flash across the battlefield in an instant. Their way of war is swift and deadly as a serpent, as wild rider hosts descend upon an enemy only to dance away with blinding speed. They value tradition and strength above perhaps all other Eldar, and are seen as barbarians by much of their kin. Siamhan is made up of wild rider families, being led by the chieftain's family and being divided into squads that consist of blood relatives. In this way, they share a kinship within battle that very few can relate to in the 41st millennium. The families have extreme autonomy by Eldar standards, and must willingly answer the call to war by the craft world, and are not forced. Truly, to the rest of the Eldari, the warriors of Siamhan are an oddity. In rare times, the wild riders have even clashed with other craft worlds due to their differences. Billten are by far the most militant and bloodthirsty of all the Eldar craft worlds. They are a people of martial perfection and a warrior's determination. These Eldar despise what their race has become, and wish to return the Eldari Empire to its former glory. They hate other beings within the galaxy, especially the Orks, and wage constant genocide against all aliens, for they are not worthy of living in a galaxy with the Eldar. So meticulous and spiteful is the craft world that they will cleanse planets down to the bacterial level, completely purging it of all Xenos filth. Billten's militant ways have led to it containing the largest concentration of aspect warriors. Their armies are strong and resolute, with an aura of spite and death surrounding them. No prisoners are taken, and no mercy is given in a campaign waged by Billten, for they see other beings as insects and apes, whose time has come and gone. In the times of the 13th Black Crusade, the craft world was shattered, but they persevered. The Eldar of Ulthwé are resolute, determined masters of destiny. The craft world is home to the greatest masters of psychic powers in perhaps the entire galaxy, and the Farseers possess a potency that none can match. They reside near the Eye of Terror, and so are constantly staving off the forces of chaos. In this way, the citizens are masters of war in their own right. The Black Guardians of Ulthwé are famous for their skill in battle, and they are far above the citizenry of other craft worlds, for Ulthwé is lacking in aspect warriors and must call upon its people to defend it. They are led by the Seer Council, masters of fate and guides of the Eldar people. Ulthwé meddles in the affairs of all factions, as they see the many ripples of time, and do whatever they can to turn them in the Eldar's favor. In this way, their actions may seem random and at times ludicrous, but the Farseers know that even a tiny pebble can change the ebb and flow of the skeins of fate. Eldrad Ulthran is their most famous and powerful Farseer, and he could be seen throughout the Horus Heresy attempting to turn away the traitor Primarchs before they fell.
destroy the forces of chaos, or we may yet know a fate worse than death.
Altanzar is an Eldari craftworld that spent 10,000 years in the Warp, sister world of Ulthwé. They too resided near the Eye of Terror, yet were unable to overcome its power. They were sucked into the Warp, with their most important warrior, Mulgunra, being the only escapee. This would prove to be their salvation, however, for when Abaddon the Despoiler tore open reality to launch his 13th Black Crusade, Mulgunra would plunge into the Warp Tear. Here he would find his lost craftworld and lead them back to real space to aid in the battle against chaos. The Eldar of Altanzar now live on, but are untrusted by all their kin, as who could possibly spend that much time within hell and not be influenced? That is what the Eldar whisper, at least. Furthermore, the citizens of this craftworld never remove their helmets and speak only in hushed tones. Despite what others believe, they have survived the impossible, and their pure resilience and hatred is shown on the battlefield in acts of fearlessness and determination.